Hi everybody, it's Maria from What's a Story with Maria. How's it going? Tonight is August 18th, 2020, the year that was and wasn't. That's what I've named it. So anyway, tonight I'm going to start off just with a little time, just in the mood to sing, just a little bit, because it's a special, special, special time. There's a lot of bad stuff happening, but there's also a lot of historic stuff happening. And I'm just feeling this. I don't know. Tonight I've called the show Carrying the Torch. So I started with that because it is the 100th anniversary of the woman's right to vote, and it's the Democratic Convention going on right now. And my first guest is someone very special to me anyway, because she's a family member that I adore, but she also is a historian, and she is embarking on a brand new life. And I'm so proud of her. So let me just turn this down. Okay, I'm just gonna turn that down so I don't hear that much. So anyway, I just was sitting here, I got my RBG, Notorious RBG shirt on, and I thought, it takes a lot of courage over and over and over to get something done. Like, when they say Rome wasn't built in a day, or things don't happen overnight. Like when people say, oh, he was an overnight sensation, she was an overnight sensation, there's no such thing. It's just what you see. What you see is the overnight admission or acknowledgement of someone else's achievements, but you don't see all the work behind it. So I was thinking about that, and I was, I've always been a huge admirer of people like Susan B. Anthony, and she didn't do it alone. There was people, and you talk about protest. I was reading today that it was decades and decades of work. It didn't just happen, in a vacuum. It was decades and decades of women out there with signs and being treated horribly, all because they just wanted to vote. They wanted a voice. And that sounds like it's such a simple thing, but it's not. Now to us it would be unheard of, right? But someone had to start that ball rolling. She was part of the abolitionist group, and she started that ball rolling first. And there's people like that are just amazing. So tonight I've called the show Carrying the Torch, for that reason, that we have if we are good people, or socially conscious people, or just strong-hearted people, then we want to help the next generation. We want to help ourselves, of course, because if there's a saying that says, if a plane is crashing, you got to put the air mask on yourself first before you can help the person next to you. Even if it's a child, they tell you, make sure you're okay, and then help the next person. And I always remember that. So of course we have to survive. But part of that survival is a social survival. Not just me, but I need my best friend, my girlfriend, my neighbor, my dad, my sister, my cousins to survive. Is my responsibility to help everyone. And it's your responsibility to be there if I need you. But if we're all taking care of ourselves and we're all taking care of each other, we don't end up needing a lot, because it's like that, it takes a village mentality. So I thought about that today. I was really like, even though I'm always like, because I bought a shirt last week and I wish I had waited to wear it. That said the 100th anniversary. And I wore it last week because I was so excited that the shirt came that I wanted to wear it. So I thought, oh, damn, I should have worn the shirt. But while I was sitting here waiting to be ready for the show, for Jimmy to give me the go-ahead, I just was like, I just want to sing that song. I want to sing This Little Light of Mine. I don't even know who wrote that song. It's so old, but somebody felt like we feel. Like we feel now, like we feel so many times in our life. Like, you know what? If I don't let someone know what I need, or I don't let my light shine, how is anybody going to know what that is? So I just, I'm just very, very moved tonight. I watched the convention last night, and you know, a lot of people were like, it's virtual, blah blah blah. That's the world we're living in. It's the unconventional convention. It's the unconvention. I mean, people are doing what they have to do. You know, wouldn't it be nice to be in huge crowds and everybody cheering and all the balloons and all? Who doesn't love that stuff? But it's just not the year for it. So I thought what they did was, there was some really moving things that I saw. I loved this Bruce Springsteen thing. I loved the Amtrak Joe thing. I loved it. You know, I'm a big fan of the blue collar guy. I come from that. I come from a long line of blue collar guys. My grandpa was like the ultimate blue collar guy. My grandpa Jerry. And he was just the hero in my movie. So, you know, I think about that. When I look at Joe, I think of my grandpa and those people that get up every damn day, no matter what, never miss a day of work. And he was that guy that even though he worked in Washington, he wanted to go home to his sons every night because he had lost his wife and his daughter in a car crash. He had these two little boys, and he was determined to put them to sleep at night and feed them breakfast in the morning. And I love that guy. I love people like that. Like, that to me is America. So I was very moved by that. And then today, you know, thinking about the women's right to vote. But before that, I asked my cousin Marisa. Her name is Marisa Raskowski. But she comes in to the show often as Isabella Raskowski because it's her daughter's Facebook that she comes in under, and we always, you know, joke and stuff. And Isabella gets our messages when we like them, not, you know, Marisa, but I'm sure she passes them on. But Isabella Raskowski is an amazing person, and actually, I believe it's the second highest rated show in our history was Christmas at the Raskowskis. The first highest rated show is Shanna Sharp and her husband Alexander, and then right under it is Christmas at the Raskowskis, and then after that is a family show. So you will, you know, you won't be able to see her because she's not here. She's in Massachusetts, but she's going to call in like a minute, and we're going to welcome her on, and she has some really cool things happening. I mean, when I think about what these young people have been through this year, I mean, we've all been through it. Okay, I get it. But look, I had a great senior year. I think this is her. Hold on. Isabella, is that you?
Hi, Pia.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm just gonna ask you to bring up your voice a tiny bit, honey, because I got.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's just because we have to get two mics in. So I was singing your praises. I was saying that how much I love and respect you, and I just think that you do great things. I mean, your whole family is like that. Your whole family is very involved in the community. I remember when, even before you were born, your brother Billy was a huge history buff, and he was a little guy. He was like 6, and I remember him watching The Patriot over and over, and I was like, what little kid does that? So, first of all, I wanted to say that I was very impressed that you did, you know, the end of the year was so awful at school this year because of the COVID thing, and you were such a trooper about it. So I wanted to say that I admired you for that.
Thanks.
I really do. I really, really do. I have a lot of respect for your generation. And now you're done with that, right? And you're going to start student teaching?
Yeah, so I have one more semester of classes, and then I student teach in the spring.
Okay. And did you get your assignment already? Where are you going to go?
No, I find that out later in the year. So some people will student teach in the fall, but I am doing it in the spring.
Okay, great.
I find out later on. But I just passed my last MTEL, so I'm all ready to go.
Now, explain to people what that means, people that don't know what that means.
Yeah, so MTELs are basically just a teaching licensure exam that you have to take. So because I want to be a history teacher.
Woo! I love this. I love it. I'm freaking out. This is great.
So I have to pass a writing and a reading exam and then a history exam. And I just passed my history exam, so I'm all done with those.
Okay, wow. That's really impressive. And I bet that was pretty stressful, right, to study for all that stuff?
It was so stressful. I was cramming so much information because it's literally the beginning of time, so as present as you can go. So.
Yeah, you're right. It's the record of time.
It's so much.
It's so much information, and it's not subjective. You know, it's not the kind of thing where it's not opinions. It's actually facts.
Right. Right.
You know, there's like I'm a teacher, but I teach creative stuff. So a lot of that stuff is like it's get ebb and flow. You know, there's not. You could be right and wrong at this. You know what I mean? It's kind of like an interpretation of the way you see things. But history is facts.
Right.
So you're right. You have to get facts. It's kind of like medical stuff. I always say, like, as a singer, if I hit a wrong note, nobody dies. But if a doctor misdiagnoses something, you know, stuff like that. So I think that's important. And I wanted to say congratulations there.
It was a lot of breathing, and it was a lot of flash starts, but I got through it.
Wow. Well, I'm very impressed.
Thanks.
Now, you're doing something really cool that I'm so excited about, and I've been following. You are interning for someone really cool, right?
Yes, I am. I'm interning for Joe Kennedy. He's running for senator for Massachusetts. In the primary, he's running against Ed Markey, so the primary for that is September 1st.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I've been working all summer with the Kennedy campaign trying to get him elected.
That's really, really cool. So I saw some pictures on your Facebook page. You were out there holding signs, and your mom was there too, right?
Yep. My mom's just as, more politically active than I am. She loves it, so she came out with me to support Joe.
Yeah, and you know, your mom's one of my favorite people to kibitz on the phone with about politics. Yeah. You know, I love it. Forget about it. If I lived there or she lived here, I'd be over the house every night.
You're definitely two hotheads, for sure.
Two hotheads. I know, you're right, though, but I know, and a lot of people, although your Uncle John said that we talk a little bit. We're on two different political sides, but we can kind of talk. I tone it down for my family.
Well, that's the thing. As long as you're willing to listen to people, then that's all that matters. You can have a strong opinion as long as you can listen to people, and you can. Like, you do a good job of it. You hear both sides.
Well, you know what? Thank you for saying that, because I agree with you 100%. You know, I feel like we have strong opinions because it's what we come from, whatever it is. Something like viscerally connects to us, or we connect to it, and that's why we are so strong in our opinions. But I agree with you. I feel like if more people just sat and listened, that we would be more in agreement than non-agreement.
I think that's totally right. I feel like people just argue for the sake of arguing, but if you just stop and listen, like you said, then you realize that, like, maybe you're not so far off from each other. Yeah, I
used to do that with my classes. If, you know, I would have them raise their hand, like with the kids. I'd say, all right, if they were fighting, I'd say, okay, even the little ones, I'd say, all right, look, who likes pizza? Raise your hand. And they would all raise their hand. You know, and I would keep doing things like that, like who has a pet? And a bunch of them, okay. And I'd say, do you realize how many things you have in common? So if there's a lot of, you know, I feel like politics is like that in a lot of ways too. You know, it's like we all want what's best for our families. We all want to be able to work, make enough money to pay our bills and not drown. You know, things like we all want to be heard. We all want to be respected. You know, things like that. So I think that history is one of those wonderful ways to teach the next generation so that they can form their own opinions, of course, but they have facts to go by.
Right. That's what I'm hoping. And obviously, like I said, I want to be a history teacher. So, it's really important to me to figure out how to talk about those, like, hot topics, but be able to hear both sides and teach my students to hear both sides. So that's definitely something like I think about a lot and I try to lead by example with, I guess, because I'm going to have to be doing that for my whole life.
Yes, that's true. And look, history is always going to be a hot topic. Not history
Right.
itself, but current affairs
Right.
is always going to
They go
be.
hand in hand.
What, honey?
They go hand in hand. History and current events, like they're hand in hand. You can see it. You can see patterns and how it all connects.
Right. Absolutely. Well, that whole history, you know, when they say history repeats itself, is actually so true.
It's so true.
I'm sure you really saw it because watching. What would you say? This is so interesting. I could talk to you for an hour. Now I'm like, oh my God. What would you say as a history student is the pattern that you saw the most repeated?
Like most recently?
Well, just in general, like looking at, did you ever have a feeling like while you were watching something and thinking, oh man, here they go again. They're doing the same thing over again.
I feel like every time you study wars, you can see those patterns where, you know, unfortunately you can kind of see similarities to now, I feel like, where there's always extreme sides to things and then they get blown out of proportion, you know?
Right.
So, like, with the world wars, it was like one thing trying to, you know, people are trying to take over, one power is trying to take over everything, then everyone jumps in because the world's so interconnected.
That's
Now,
interesting.
when you have such, like, heated topics and heated vocabulary, you can see the same kind of tensions building.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying we're on the brink of war, but, you know, like, you can feel that tension. And I feel like that tension is something that you see every time.
Well, look, war isn't necessarily missiles and guns. War can also be like internal, you know, like an eruption of something very powerful, or like a disconnect and a taking over of something. So, like, you're right, it doesn't always have to go to that extreme. I do feel like as we've evolved, especially as Americans, I feel like hopefully, well, not just Americans, you know, Europe, and there's a lot of great countries, you know, like that are always willing to work together. And I feel like that's really a big deal, like NATO and the UN. Like, there's a lot of great things that have come that weren't around, you know, during the Roman Empire, or you know, weren't around during other times when people were just like killing each other, you know.
Those are the things that end up bringing you out of the darker times.
Yes.
If you're talking about cycles.
Absolutely. And I just think history, oh my God, I just think there's so much cool stuff. Now, are you as excited as I am about the anniversary of the women's right to vote today? Or this?
I think awesome.
It's so cool. Right? And that we actually are on the earth at that time to say we can celebrate 100 years.
I know. Can you believe it?
Yeah, it's really, you know, I was thinking about 2020, and it's been such a difficult year on so many levels. But I see what you think of this, and I want to talk to you more about it when we hang out in Massachusetts. But I feel like, and I said this to my kids that I was teaching a class. I've been teaching like a class on Zoom, like a writing class for little guys. And I said, listen, just keep your journals now and make sure that you date every day. Make sure you write the year, because we're actually recording history right now.
Right.
We're recording something that hopefully will never happen again. And generations ahead will say, wow, you were around then? What was it like?
I was thinking about that because, once again, like, if I want to be a teacher, so I was thinking, like, I'm going to be talking about this to my students, and they're going to ask me, like, well, what was that like? What did you do? And I don't know, maybe I should start keeping things from, like, I don't know, a newspaper or, like, an article that I saw that, like, kind of talks about this, so I can show, like, my kids, this is what it was like, this is what I did, maybe take pictures, just to document everything, you know?
Absolutely. You know what? When during September 11th, I lived 10 blocks from the World Trade Center. And that day, we'll talk more in length another time, but that day I didn't realize in the moment that I was part of history. But I just started taking a ton of pictures, and I also had a video camera at the time, not just like we have it on our phones, but I had like this big video camera. And I went up on my roof and I started videotaping, and I just, for days, like for the next 30 days, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just so upset and so freaked out that I just kept almost like a photo journal log, you know,
Yeah.
and like a video log, and I just kept it running, and I would go back and then splice things together because I was so frightened. It was my way of coping, you know, and I
Right.
feel
Yeah.
like, yeah, like that's really like what his history is, like people over the years, whether they wrote it down. So I would say, you know, like maybe one of the things I've been doing is keeping a journal of like some of the stuff, even like with my show, like every episode since COVID, I've been writing like when things were like today I wrote the women's right to vote and I wrote Democratic Convention, but I didn't write anything about COVID, but I have been at different times, like saying like it seems like it's getting better, or this is really like this is what's happening, or they're voting on this, or oh my God, this is so scary, or what the number count is, because I think I'll look back on it years to come and really be glad that I did that.
Yeah, because that's like a social oral history, you know, like to pass it on.
Yes, absolutely. So if you were talking to your students now and telling them to like put a time capsule together,
Yeah.
you know, like what are some of the things that you would tell them to put in that time capsule?
A face mask, probably.
Yeah.
That has to be one. I think they have to do something with like the civil rights protests going on. Maybe like a Black Lives Matter thing.
Okay.
Just, you know, I don't know. I mean, a picture of them socially distancing with their friends.
Right.
Just to show, like.
Yeah. Whatever it was to them, it's going to be different for different people, and also depending on where you live, right?
Right, and that's the thing is so much has happened in the last few months that it could be anything for anybody.
You're so right. You're so right about that. It could be anything for anyone depending on where you were and how you saw the world.
Right.
Right. So it's your personal history. Yeah, I was it's just so amazing. Yeah, that's why I told my kids to keep journals. I said that even the most mundane thing, right?
Yeah. Absolutely, because it all means something in the grand scheme of everything.
Yeah, it does. You know, and even like, you know, I said to them, because they're little, but I said, even like what you ate, like, did you cook a lot? They were like, we're cooking a lot at home with our parents. I said, well, that's a big deal, because it doesn't always happen when you're in school, you know, like mom and dad will pick you up and you might get a pizza on the way home, you know?
Yeah.
So things like that. So now what's your next move, honey bunny? You are helping Joe. The election is soon.
Yep, the primary election is September 1st, so that ended up being perfect timing because I'm moving into school on Saturday. So that's going to end up school for me.
Wow.
So then this semester I'm writing my history thesis. So that's like my final hurrah for my history degree, and I have to write a big thesis paper on a research topic.
I cannot be. I'm beaming. You know. I don't know if you know that, but couldn't be prouder of you.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on, but
you're in the thick of it, though. You're in the thick of it. Talk about you're a history major. You're going to be a history teacher, and you are in the thick of something so historical.
Yeah,
you're going to get to actually tell people that you were in it.
I know.
It's a big,
surreal.
It is. It's surreal and incredible.
It is.
You know, just to record everything. Okay, so now, so after the primary, if Joe wins, do you stay with the campaign?
Hopefully. I mean, yeah, I think that's more up to me than the people above me, you know. But so if he wins the primary, then he still has to, you know.
He still needs interns. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so that'll. But the whole primary struggle is coming to an end on September 1st. Hopefully, good news.
Okay. I've been, just so you know, because of you, I mean, I love Joe anyway. I have loved him for several years. I really, really love him. I think he's a beautiful guy, and I love what he stands for. I'm going to hold this up. Well, first, what I want to do is I want to hold a picture of Isabella up. This is my cousin Maurice's daughter, so Isabella is my second cousin. I love her. She's amazing. There she is. And this is Joe Kennedy. I'm going to hold up a picture of Joe Kennedy. There he is. Joe Kennedy the third, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's Senator Joe, and he's running for senator in Massachusetts. And so September 1st, get out the vote. Are you guys doing early voting at all, or do you have to go that day?
There's early voting, which I believe is on August 22nd. So that's Saturday is when it starts. And then you can also vote by mail.
Okay.
So people receive the vote by mail application in their mailbox.
Okay.
And then they have to out and send it in by August 26th.
Okay.
And then get mailed their actual ballot, and they can fill that out and mail it back to their town hall or whoever they vote with. So.
Okay. And I was going to say, just in case, just mail it a little early. You know, there's there's a little bit of confusion right now. Yeah. It might get straightened out, it might not, but in the meantime, just mail. I always do anyway. It's like I always pay my bills ahead of time, just in case.
Right.
It's the same thing, you know. Make sure, this is very important. Go to your post office. Make sure you have the right postage.
Right.
Because some things require more postage than others. So I always check or go online and check what the postage is and things like that. So, Isabella, you know, I could talk to you for hours on end.
Oh,
I love it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon when it's, I've been staying away because I'm trying to be like, you know, just let everything settle for well, although you guys are doing good, New York's doing well, so soon I'll be home. But and now you're a teacher and I'm a teacher, so we have even more in common, more to talk about.
We have a bond.
Yes, a total bond. You know, teaching is incredible. It's like one of the most amazing. You know what teaching is like? It's like looking at the world through an incredible window, and you get like so many eyes. You don't just get your eyes. You get like multiple sets of eyes, and you can watch the world grow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I'm so excited. Yeah, and you're going to love it. And the best part of teaching is like when you look in their eyes and you see a light bulb go off where they get it.
Right.
And you're like, oh my God, I helped that happen. And you remember your teachers that helped it happen for you.
Absolutely.
Do you remember your teachers that you loved?
I do. Oh my God, I had so many teachers. I always talk about, I had one history teacher for all of high school, Miss Rubin. And I had her for all 3 years of history in high school, and she was like so incredible. And I feel like her teaching style is like kind of what I will base my style off of. That's what I know as a history teacher.
Isn't that amazing?
She had really had an effect on me and helped me like come into my own with history, I guess.
Wow. And what was it about her style that you loved? Was it that you said she helped you come into it on your own, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. She was just very like real about her own opinions, but didn't really force them on you, of course. And she just was all about giving you facts. And even in like our days off, like if we had a snow day or over the weekend, if she saw an article that like reminded her of the class, she would email it to us just so like we keep thinking it. So she really was hands-on and really just seemed like she was interested and she was passionate, so it kind of made me more passionate about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't think that was the same as that. I had some really good teachers in high school that really stuck with me.
Isn't that wonderful? I love that. Yeah, I remember all my great teachers too, man. You know, and I've been out of high school a long, long time, but I remember as a matter of fact, my favorite teacher was Mrs. Rosen in high school. And I'm teaching a class now. She was an English teacher, but I'm teaching a class now that just reminds me a lot of the way she taught it. It just was a different age group, but the same thing. You're like, what worked with me? What got me wanting to write more? What got me more interested in that? It was her enthusiasm, and it was also her trust of us. She trusted us.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and I like that. So, anyway, honey, also, I think that I'm so excited because I love your mom so much, and I love that her enthusiasm for politics and history is so amazing.
Right.
And I feel like you and Gia and Bill have inherited that, but you have your own style with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is so cool because it's like that is the whole purpose of being a political mom, is that you want to get your kids excited, but you let them find it on their own.
Right, and my dad is pretty politically active too, but
Your
him and my
dad's
mom are
amazing.
on
Yeah.
opposite sides, so I hear both sides. So I think that's why me and my siblings have kind of been more open to hearing both sides and understanding them, because we grew up around all of them. We've heard it all. So.
That's an amazing point. That is an amazing point, because I love your dad. I love your dad. But I tend to talk to your mom more, because we are just girls and we we talk a lot. But you're right. And the thing that I do love about your dad is he's a great listener too.
He is.
Yeah. And so you're right. There's always the world is not one-dimensional or two-dimensional. It's like it goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Really cool. Honey, I look so forward to what's going to be there in the future. And I hope that, I'm looking forward to talking with you more. And if there's stuff that comes up, in school, maybe you can, we can talk on the phone. I love that. And
yeah, totally.
Also, if you, we'll have you call back into the show, okay, as like our history person.
Yeah, maybe I can talk about my thesis sometime. Who knows?
I would love that. Just let me know, like, where you're at with it, and then I would love that. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
What are you doing your thesis on?
So I'm doing it on Isabella de Medici, from Renaissance Florence.
Wow.
So she was a woman in the Medici family, but she was murdered by her husband. So her story isn't really told because she's just told about how she was murdered.
Wow.
So I'm writing about both the powerful movements that she was a part of and how she was important in science and literature and all that stuff. So I'm kind of telling the silent part of her story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. No, don't say hopefully. If you love it, it will be great.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm really interested in it, though.
It's what you bring to it. And you're bringing life to it already, because now I'm so interested to know more.
It's a really interesting story. So,
I'm very excited. We'll have to you call in again, okay?
All right.
And I love you, honey, and I'm so deeply proud of you.
Thanks. I love you too.
Okay, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. Give your mother a hug.
I will.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
The future of our country is on our young people. I know, I'm one of those people that for many, many years was stressed out by a lot of young people because I felt like they weren't involved enough. But I got to tell you, my family is the opposite of that. Maybe that's why I was so stressed out by some of the young people I was around, because my family has always been involved, whether it was immigration issues, whether it was political issues, whether we were the kind of family, we are the kind of family, no matter where we live, that help others. We're very community-based. My family, very community-based. We're always in it. My cousin Marisa works in the community. She's very connected. Her husband is very connected. Just Bill and Marisa, just amazing. My Uncle Nicky is super, super connected. It's my dad, my mom, people, I love that. I come from that, and I think it's, what Isabella was saying just really stayed with me about the two sides of things, So if anything, parents can take away from this is that when you do have discussions in front of your kids, to show them that there is a place in the middle and that there is a resolve, and that by talking things out is how you come to it. It's just so interesting. I could talk about it forever. Let me just check on our people. I'm going to do my food at some point, but my friend Eric Eves Garcia is checking in, and I want to see who all my people are. Belle Parker, I adore you as well. She is in Wisconsin with her beautiful, delicious baby that I would eat if she was near me. Don't put her near me. I will eat her. She is so damn cute. And Leo Rodriguez. Leo made an amazing promo today at the last minute because of me. Thank you, Leo. That was amazing. I love you. Mandar Chick Magnet. Okay, let me see. Leo is dancing. Yes, he is. And Dominic Poopa is here. Dominic, I was thinking we got to talk because I think that we got to have your mom call in again. Because I know that your parents just celebrated a huge anniversary. Your mom had a little, she broke her femur there, and I want to make sure that she's okay. We got to have her back on the show. So we have to plan a Dominic and his mom call-in special. Maybe even your dad, because it's the anniversary. We have to figure out, it's going to be like a poopa palooza. We got to do that. All right. I was Leo's houseboys. I was well, listen, some people like that kind of thing. I don't know what to tell you. But, okay, Bill Goffey. Bill Goffey. So he says, Misty, she misses you. Okay, so Misty is Bill's cat, who I was feeding because Bill, we're so happy you're okay. Bill had a little operation. He came through it with flying colors. And he is home today. We love Bill Goffey. Bill Goffey, we're all sending you good stuff last week. I didn't get into too much detail because that's your business. But anyway, it's good stuff. It's all good stuff. So Bill is on the mend, and he's doing great. So he's home, and his cat is very happy because she was hiding a lot. All right, let me see who else we have. I saw Rena Crugnali-Bergi, my cousin, who I love. Can you please give a great shout out to your beautiful husband, Ron, who I adore, who is a mailman. This has not been an easy time for the Postal Service. And we want to tell your husband and all his workers that we love and appreciate everything they do. Let me tell you, I'm a letter sender. I mail all my bills still. I don't pay anything online. Personally, I'm old school. I don't trust that stuff. I feel like that's how they can, I don't know. I'm like, I mail everything. I love to mail packages, so thank you so much. Marisa, my cousin Marisa Raskowski is out there, who I love. And Marisa, we are overdue for a chat on the phone about all things happening. Okay, everything you need to know. Thank you, Leo. Leo has posted everything you need to know, everything you need to vote, vote.org. Thank you, Leo. This is super important. The inform yourselves, empower yourself. Oh my goodness. Who's calling? I call him Frenchie. There it is. Hi, this is Eric Eves Garcia, known to the world as Eric Eves Garcia, but I call him Frenchie. It's a long story, but it's a great story. But we won't tell you now. We've told you before. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing great. I'm doing very well. I mean, as actually, I always feel better when I talk to you, which is completely true. As a matter of fact, when I saw you, what was it? 2 days ago? 3 days
Yes.
ago? Last week.
Last week, yes, I dropped off some sauce. I was making spaghetti sauce for my friends, and
Right.
I dropped off a couple of bolognese and a couple of marinadas for you.
You did, and they're glorious.
You like them?
I love them. I
Oh,
would recommend
honey,
them
thank you.
To I mean, they really are, and it even says it on the label, but it's completely true. Just made with just the best ingredients and made with love, and it's just it's classic. It's really wonderful. So
Thank you, honey.
Froze some, and I think I may see my father tomorrow. Maybe I'm gonna bring some, and we're gonna keep a stash over at his place.
Yeah, do that. You know, I'll keep making them. If people need more sauce, I'll keep making more sauce.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. But like I was gonna say, I mean, you're like a tonic. I always feel better when everything feels much more in perspective when I spend time with you and talk to you. It really does. It feels like the things that are insurmountable become like something I could handle. I really mean that. That's true.
Well, thank you, honey. You know, I've always felt that about you. Always. You and I, we always joke about this, but I always say that we're like the two little old ladies on the front porch. We can just talk and like we used to do that when I worked at a place and you worked a couple blocks away. You'd come afterwards and have a drink or two where I worked, and then we would talk there all night. And then I'd say, "Wait for me, French." And then I call him Frenchie because he used to do this really funny impression, this French impression. And so I just nicknamed him Frenchie, and it stuck. And then we would go to the diner and we would talk for hours. Then we would both go home, and then I would call him from home, and we'd talk even more.
It's true, like until like 4:35. By then it must be like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we just could talk, and I feel the same way about you, honey. Now I want to get the word out. So Eric is an amazing singer and pianist, accompanist, and he really. Would you say that you are your focus or your American songbook, right? Would you say that that's your kind of specialty?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, American Songbook.
Standards,
and,
classics.
yeah, standards, classics, and jazz leaning.
Jazz, yes.
Jazz leaning, jazz-ish, jazz inflected, whatever. But yeah, I would definitely say so. I mean, I'm excited. This is really my first. I mean, I do a remote show every Friday,
Which I love. I love your show. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very. I'm still. I mean, it's probably a little bit sad in the sense that I never bought one of those good ring lamps that give you that great light.
But you don't need it. You know why you don't need it? Because you do it during the day, and you have that beautiful natural light. What those ring lights do is create what would be natural light. So you don't you don't need it.
Well, it's a daytime. Yeah, it's a very informal show. I have a ball doing it, but this is on Saturday in Bloomfield is going to be the first.
Okay, so hold on before it. Hold on, because I want to hold up your picture. This is my friend Eric Eves Garcia. There he is, so that when you do go to the gig, you will know who he is. He's an exceptional human being that happens to be so talented and smart and on a different level. Then, okay, so this is, I'm holding up. So tell us about Music at the Mansion. Go ahead.
Well, Music at the Mansion is a series run by a couple. They're lovely, lovely people. Nicholas Adler and Karina Sowers Adler. And Music at the Mansion is a series that they're producing in Bloomfield, New Jersey, which is in North Jersey, at the Oakside Bloomfield Cultural Center. And it's an old house, like a turn-of-the-century kind of Victorian style house with a big wraparound porch. It's very beautiful. And what they decided to do, which is just, I'm so grateful that they're doing it at all, let alone that they invited me to be part of it, is that they decided to do socially distanced concerts and have live music.
That's amazing.
And, yeah, so it's dinner and a show. It's this Saturday, the 22nd.
Which is my mother's birthday, you know.
I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, so that's my mom's birthday. I wouldn't expect you to remember it, but usually you know, I always call you on that day, but
yeah.
So I will be with you. I mean, maybe we can get out there. If not, there's also a remote way to do it, right?
There is. Yeah, I think Stephen and Jeffrey, I think, because they're right out there. I think that's right kind of next door for them. But if anybody cannot make it directly in person for the dinner and a show, it is going to be broadcast on Zoom. And so there's a Zoom link to buy remote tickets.
Perfect.
And it's on my wall. I can share that. It's kind of a long link.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. You share it when this is over. Just add it to the add it to the show.
So yeah, anybody can watch it from wherever they please. They've been streaming everybody's shows, and it's just been a really, really wonderful and varied program of people. And so I'm excited. I'm going to do, I thought everybody's mine is anyway, blood pressure is kind of up, like the blood pressure is up and the temperature is up.
Oh my God.
And so I thought
You're not kidding.
I'm going to do, the show's called Croonin' on a Breeze.
Love it.
I just thought I would do Tony Bennett songs, Dean Martin songs, Nat Cole songs, a couple of stuff, maybe a little Jack Jones, and all on a kind of like mellow, they're going to move, not too many ballads, a lot of stuff people know, but also some hidden, I like to dig around for some unknown stuff, just to keep it varied, but, some crowd pleasers too, and all on a theme of either traveling or warm weather or just nice and easy things, just to keep, just good time stuff on a summer night. So
yeah.
That's what it's going to be.
I love it. Okay, so we're going to try to get there for sure. And if you can't get there but you want to buy a Zoom ticket, you're welcome to do it that way. And also, tell us again about your show on Fridays that you do, which I love.
Sure. That's Midday Getaway. And I do that on Facebook. It's Facebook Live. You don't have to be friends with me on Facebook in order to watch it. I make it public, or you don't even actually have to be on Facebook, period. Once you make a Facebook live show public, as I understand it, you could just Google Eric Eve Garcia Midday Getaway,
yep,
and you would find it. Although and I think you'll find this funny. There was a day a few weeks ago. My father always calls me after a show with his impressions of how I did that day.
Your dad is something else.
I know. He does. That song, I liked it. The other one...
He has to give you the critique. Well, I have the same type of dad, just so you know. We have the same father.
You really have to keep telling yourself it comes from a place of love.
Oh, really absolutely. I mean, they want to be part of it. That's what it is. Yes, it comes from a directorial place.
Right. He told me the other day, he goes, why don't you make people laugh? When you're funny, it's better. I said, well, I'll do my best.
You know, all you can say is thank you. Thank you. I'll definitely start doing that. That's all you can do.
True. But yeah, so no, the only reason I mention it is because occasionally if you Google my name and the show, Midday Getaway, it's Fridays at 12:30.
I love it.
Eastern. And sometimes Google will show you a show, like an older show. So my father was like, it's 104 degrees today. What are you wearing a sweater for?
Oh my God.
I said, no, that's the show from like March 18th. But so no, the current shows are out there. But no, it's a very kind of informal show, direct from my apartment in Harlem, and I read a little poem at the beginning.
Yep, I love that.
Long, and then do some tunes, some requests, and just kind of talk to.
It's really cool.
Kind of interact.
And it keeps the music going. I got to tell you, our mutual friend, Russ Woolley, is on. He's listening to us. Russ, we love you.
Russ is just the best.
He's just the best.
He's the best guy.
Yeah. I wanted to have Russ on the show at some point, and then everything just kind of went haywire. But listen, stay there because you're going to do the food section of the show with me. So don't go anywhere. Hold on. I'm going to put the phone down. But okay, so this is the food section of our show, and the food section of our show is called what, Frenchie? Go ahead. Keep eating.
Keep eating.
That's right. Okay, so what did I make today? I went off my diet. That's why I have sweatpants on right now. I really do. But so I'm eating carbs again for a little while. Mandar will be happy. Today I'm very proud of this. I made medallions of polenta. So polenta, back in the day, our moms used to be stirring it for hours on end, or they'd have the kids jump in and stir it. But now they have these. Actually, you can buy it like Italian shops, or even Trader Joe's has it. It's not as good as the Italian shops, but polenta in like this kind of tubular thing. It's already,
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I slice it in medallions, and then I pan sear it for a while in extra virgin olive oil with some garlic and parsley. Sure. And underneath it, I have homemade marinara that I made. So after the show, I can't wait to eat this. It's going to be good. And just all it needed was salt and pepper because the marinara is already flavored. I put a little bit of garlic, but I put that in everything. Okay.
Well, as far as carbs go, that's really not so bad.
No. I mean, look, you know what? Some days you just got to have some carbs. And for salad, I made a red leaf lettuce, avocados, red radishes, baby grapevine tomatoes. They're small, the little mini ones. And I put a little lime on this. I'm going to put a little cilantro on that, extra virgin olive oil, and red wine vinegar. Just a classic summer salad. And for dessert, one of my favorite desserts in the world, Frenchie lemon meringue pie, just like we used to have at the diner together. I thought of you.
At the Galaxy Diner, yeah.
At the Galaxy Diner, I would always order a piece of lemon meringue pie together. So that's why you inspired that dessert. I wanted to thank you for that.
I love that.
All right.
Such happy memories. That feels like real life.
Oh my God, I love it and I miss it, and we have to do it again because I could talk to you for days on end. And Isabella, my cousin Isabella Raskowski called in. She is lovely, and I had the same feeling with her. That's why I kind of thought of you together. Tonight was like a kind of mellow, nice, even keel thing.
Yeah.
After this, we're all going to go watch the Democratic Convention, show 2. So I want to thank you. I love you. Do great things on Saturday. I hope to see you. And it's just going to be a wonderful time.
Listen, thank you. This is just a joy. Thank you for letting me crow a little bit about the show. I'm so excited about it.
Well, you didn't ask me. I asked you. So because I I saw that you were doing that. I'm like, this is great. People are dying to hear
Yeah.
live music. They want to get out of the house, but they want to
Yeah.
be safe. This is a social distance, safe, outdoor, beautiful concert in a gorgeous place. It's, I believe it's $60 per person. For the
dinner, right?
for dinner,
Yeah.
right? That's with dinner and a show. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. I think so too.
Yeah.
And thank you. I mean, I see your every now and then in the middle of the night you just share a song. You know, you don't warn anybody.
No,
and you
I
share like a little beautiful song that comes from the heart, and it's.
Yeah, that's
you are,
just I
you are a
can't.
light.
I miss singing, and sometimes I'm just here in the middle of the night, and I'm like, I need to sing a song. So thank you for saying that, honey. I know it's kooky because I only do one, but that's all I want to do. All right, I love you.
That's perfect.
I'm
I
looking
love you.
forward to seeing you. And Fridays, everybody, at 12:30, you can catch Eric Eves Garcia on his midday show. What's it called? Midday
Midday Getaway.
Getaway. Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Midday Getaway.
and
This Saturday, August 22nd, you can catch him at Music at the Mansion in Bloomfield, New Jersey. Okay?
Yes, indeed. We're gonna have a ball, crooning on a breeze. It's gonna be fun.
I
It's gonna
can't
be a really
wait.
fun summer night.
I can't wait. It's going to be perfect. All right, I love you, sweetheart.
I love you too. I love you too. Thank you for having me.
Of course, we always.
Have a beautiful meal. I saw it on Instagram. I mean, it looked like a magazine.
I
Fantastic.
can't wait. I can't wait. It's my reward for getting through my show.
Listen, we all deserve rewards just for getting through every given day.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, I love you so much, honey. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
I love you too. I love you too. Take great care. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye, honey.
Bye-bye.
My wonderful friend, Eric Eves Garcia. What a beautiful guy. I love that guy. Love that guy. Solid as a rock. Okay, so we're getting very close to the end of our show. So I also want to shout out queervolutionmedia.co, because those are my friends, Joshua Bell and Michael Billy. They were my great bosses, owners at Pianist Envy. Wonderful place. And they started this wonderful page that they're going to start sharing my show on, which is, they already have. But there's so much good stuff that they're sharing. There's so much content. So go and check them out, queervolution.co. Just writing, like there's articles, there's music, there's just really powerful, great stuff for the community in Jersey City. So they're great people. Lots of you, please, if you want to share the show, please go ahead. I would be so honored if you shared the show. So please feel free to. We appreciate it. Also, Lynn Portis is doing a show this Thursday. She and Al Lambert. It's in Staten Island. It's at Aunt Butchie's, which is 4864 Arthur Kill Road. That's in Staten Island. They have a 5:30 seating and a 7:45 seating. That's happening in Staten Island. So if you can't get to New Jersey, get to Bloomfield on Saturday to see Eric, and you want to go and stop and see Lynn in Staten Island, if you're there, you can check that out as well. So that's going to be a great, great thing. And like I said, we're coming towards the end of our show. So another thing is, again, let's reiterate, it is the 100th anniversary of the women's right to vote. That might not seem like a really big thing to a lot of people, but it's a really big thing. And as I said, things do not happen overnight. They happen because people protest and fight for them and campaign for them and have their hearts broken over when it doesn't go through. But you don't give up. You keep going and you keep doing the right thing in life, and things will work out. Just keep your eye on the prize in a peaceful, stressing, peaceful way. I am not a fan of the opposite of peaceful, if you catch my drift. I think that so many things can be, people need to talk about stuff, and protest is wonderful if it is done peacefully. So continue the wonderful, peaceful protest that we've been doing. And also I want to thank Jim Bell. He's our producer and engineer. He's amazing. He gets us on the show every week. Be lost without Jim Bell. Thank you, Joe Rocks, for asking me to do this show 3 years ago. I'm having the time of my life, and I appreciate it. Thank you to Eric Eves Garcia. You can catch him at Music at the Mansion at Bloomfield, New Jersey this Saturday. And Isabella Raskowski, my sweet cousin who I love, Marisa Raskowski's daughter. The future of our country is in the hands of these young people. They are so amazing, and I'm so proud of them. So, Jimmy, how much time do we have? I think we have about a minute, right? Okay, so let me just check on some of our people. Leo, thank you, Leo, for posting that. You're the best. What would I do without Leo? I don't even know. Even out now, he's in California, and Leo, thank God you're not in Portland anymore. That's all I have to say. How crazy was that? You got out just in time. But everybody else, thank you for popping on. I know we're going to watch the Democratic Convention. It's night 2. It's going to be great. Let's just listen. Stay involved in your communities. Don't feel like my voice doesn't count. Every single voice counts. Last night, Michelle Obama said that in some of the districts, it was down to 2 people per district per voting poll place. Please don't say your vote doesn't count. It always counts. If you don't have a vote, you don't have a voice. That's all I have to say. That's it. I don't want to hear you. If you don't vote, I don't want to hear you. But vote often and vote on time. If you're going to vote early, on time. If you're going to mail your ballots, give yourself extra time. I think that's the end of our show. I want to say thank you to Jimmy. I want to thank you to Armed Radio. We love and appreciate you, and we will see you next week. Same bat time, same back channel.